This is the Lexus RX 450h Plus, and this is the BYD Seal U DM-i. Both SUVs are plug-in hybrids and offer comparable performance. Although the RX plays in a higher segment, the Seal is so much bigger than the NX, which it competes against, that I decided to put it head-to-head against Lexus's largest SUV in Europe. And I know, here on the old continent, we're deprived of some cool stuff from Lexus. This episode is brought to you by 3W Liners. Keep your car interior clean with perfectly fitting OEM compliant mats, which are also eco-friendly and odorless. I have a set of 3W liners in my car and enjoy how winter mud and grit stays on them and how easy they are to clean. They come with OEM mounts or adapters and everything stays in place. Get a set of 3W liners for your car, check out the link in the video description and use my code to get a discount. You can find reviews of both of these SUVs on my channel. Links are in the video description. If you're new here, subscribe, press the bell, because then you'll receive notifications about new videos I post. Now, channel members get early access to new videos weeks and sometimes even months before everyone else, and they're ad-free, so why not consider becoming a channel member? Just saying. In this video, we'll compare the exterior design, boot space, rear seats, cockpit, powertrain, comfort, ride and handling, and we'll do some basic all-wheel drive test as well. Let's get started. Looks and dimensions. Unfortunately, both test cars are black, so first a question to you. Which one of these is more striking and which one looks more like a black blob on the screen? Drop me a comment. Over the years, Lexus has evolved from the subdued, generic Japanese design of the 1990s to a striking, sharp design language that makes it clear we're looking at a Lexus product. I believe this is the right direction because I don't buy a luxury SUV to blend in. Speaking of blending in, that's BYD's domain. The car is bland, and if it weren't for the interior, which I'll discuss in a moment, there wouldn't be much to talk about. Yes, the Lexus RX, measuring nearly 490 centimeters, is over 12 centimeters longer than the BYD Seal U and has an 8.5 centimeters longer wheelbase. But in Chinese cars, the emphasis is on passenger space, especially passengers traveling in the back. And you'll see how much space the BYD offers compared to the Lexus. Meanwhile, let's look inside the boot. Lexus RX offers, depending on the source, 461, 612 or 840 liters boot capacity. Which one is it? According to Lexus Poland, the cargo capacity is 612 liters. Lexus Germany states 612 liters to the roof and 461 liters to the cargo cover. Lexus US says almost 840 liters, and I assume that's a figure up to the roof because in the States nobody understands the concept of a cargo cover. Inside the boot there are two shopping bag hooks, a 12-volt outlet, and in this version, buttons to electrically fold and unfold the rear seat backrests. Unfortunately, there is no space under the floor for the cargo cover, but the small storage compartment will accommodate a charging cable. The boot is 110 centimeters wide between the wheel arches, the depth is 105 centimeters in 5-seat configuration and 210 centimeters in 2-seat configuration with the front passenger seat fully forward. The cargo area isn't perfectly flat with the backrests folded. The height is 41 centimeters to the cargo cover and 72 centimeters to the roof at its highest point. However, with the rear window at a steep angle, don't expect to fit bikes in here. The boot can be opened and closed with gesture. There are also buttons to close the tailgate as well as to lock the car. The BYD has a much smaller boot. Its capacity is just 425 liters. That's not much more than some compact hatchbacks offer these days.
The floor can be lowered by about 5 centimeters, and there is a large tray underneath that theoretically shouldn't be removed, but I detached a few clips and found out that in addition to some hybrid system component, there is also visible soundproofing, and that's a plus. A minus: lack of other features in the boot. Even to fold the backrest in the second row, you have to go around. The cargo cover barely fits under the floor, but it seems like more of a lucky accident than planning. The boot is 95 centimeters wide between the wheel arches and 93 centimeters deep in 5-seat configuration. However, with the second row backrests folded and the front passenger seat moved all the way forward, there is a whopping 204 centimeters. Folding the backrests creates a flat cargo area. The height is 36 centimeters to the cargo cover, plus 5 centimeters if you lower the floor. The roof height is 69 centimeters. The boot can be closed with a button on the lid. There is also a separate button to close and lock the car, but there is no gesture control.
In the Lexus, doors cover the sills. I have about 20 centimeters legroom behind the seat set to my driving position. I'm 175 centimeters tall. Also, I have about 12 centimeters headroom. The rear seat is 130 centimeters wide, and at elbow level, I've got 155 centimeters.
A flat, low tunnel runs down the center. In the rear, we have USB-C ports and third zone climate control. There are window shades. ISOFIX anchor points are only available in the rear. There are door pockets and an armrest with cup holders and a small storage compartment. The backrest splits 40-20-40. I like how the light-colored upholstery makes the interior feel larger, but I dread to think what children will make of this beautiful combination of leather and Alcantara, not to mention the light-colored headliner.
In the BYD, doors also cover the sills. However, since the Seal U can also be an EV, doors are longer to cover the battery, which is thicker in the EV than in the PHEV, and some of the bottom of the inside of the door collects road debris.
Behind the driver's seat set to my driving position, I have 22 centimeters legroom. I'm still 175 centimeters tall, and there is about 10 centimeters of headroom, though the backrest reclines, increasing headroom. The rear seat is 135 centimeters wide, and there is about 152 centimeters at elbow level. In the rear, there are only air conditioning vents and 2 USB-C ports. The floor is flat in the middle. ISOFIX anchor points are available in the rear and on the front passenger seat as well. There are door pockets and an armrest with cup holders, but there is no ski hatch. The backrest splits only 40-60.
The Lexus RX's cockpit is what we expect in the premium segment these days. There is no running away from screens, at least 2 of them. And then there's the head-up display as well, which is standard. The materials are high quality, pleasant to touch. Lexus has only left a few physical switches, but the most important ones for adjusting cabin temperature and such are on the central display, and for controlling the cruise control and multimedia are on the steering wheel. Unfortunately, operating the multimedia and the adaptive cruise control is somewhat confusing, as the data appears briefly on the heads-up display and then it disappears. Sometimes touching one of these controllers, for example, while maneuvering on a parking lot, will bring up the menu of some sort. Fortunately, you have to press the button for the second time to confirm the change, so you won't start cruise control by accident. And if you wear polarized lenses, you might not be able to see the head-up display at all, or only from a certain angle. On the plus side, Lexus has introduced a software update which now lets you disable ESA, which is the not-so-intelligent speed assist, with a single click of the infotainment system, unless the system automatically connects to Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, in which case you will have to leave Android Auto or Apple CarPlay to disable ESA. The implementation still needs some work.
And forcing customers to choose a special equipment package to have a 360 camera in a luxury SUV in 2025 is a joke. The Chinese offer so much more as standard that traditional brands should seriously rethink their strategy. The seats are comfortable and, importantly, Memory settings are accessible via physical buttons. There's no need to fiddle around with the on-screen menus. Beneath the screen is a shelf, 2 USB-C ports, and a covered storage compartment with a very weak wireless charger. In 3 hours, it added about 20 percentage points to my phone. Next are cup holders, the gear shifter, buttons for the hybrid and off-road modes, a spacious storage compartment under the armrest, and a medium-sized glove box. My water bottle easily fits in the door bins.
Compared to the Lexus, the BYD cockpit may not be as impressive, but compared to some of European competitors, especially those in the mainstream segments, it's up there. Build quality is good, and the rotating screen certainly impresses customers, even if it's unclear why we need this feature. Perhaps some apps in China work better in vertical than in horizontal mode.
The display in front of the driver allows you to control various features, including the cabin temperature. I would prefer if the selected data remained on the screen rather than disappear for reasons which remain unclear to me. The physical buttons on the steering wheel are a plus. They are easy to use for cruise control, camera, view, and multimedia. There is a dual wireless charger on the tunnel. It's very efficient. Then there's the gear selector and buttons for everything else. Some of them are hidden under smooth plastic and it's difficult to find them, like hazard lights, for example. The entire dashboard and cup holders are too far back in relation to the seat. The driver would have to be much taller and sit further back, but they can't because there is only so much the seat will slide. Rear passenger legroom is a priority. There are decent door pockets, a cubby under the console featuring 2 USB-C ports and a 12-volt outlet, a deep storage compartment under the armrest, and an average-sized glove box. There is no lumbar support adjustment, and the seat memory settings are accessible via the screen.
The Lexus RX 450h Plus combines a 2.4-liter internal combustion engine with an electric motor. System output is 309 horsepower and the claimed 0 to 100 km/h time is 6.5 seconds, which I achieved both in normal and sport modes. Additionally, in electric mode, the RX accelerates to 100 km/h in 10.4 seconds. If there is power in the traction battery and the electric mode is selected, the car won't automatically switch to combustion engine power. The traction battery has a capacity of just over 18 kWh and the promised electric range is 69 km, which is achievable during the summer at least. An onboard 6.6 kilowatt single-phase charger will charge the car in about 3 hours, provided you have that much power on a single phase. Fortunately, the charging power can be reduced in the charge settings menu in the car. The RX is comfortable and fast. I don't like the sound of the engine, which doesn't correspond to acceleration or speed. As it is the case with hybrids, the engine can be powering the wheels, the electric motor, or charging the battery at any given moment. And be warned, when cornering quickly, the RX tends to understeer, regardless of the engine variant and the resulting suspension upgrades.
The driver assistance systems are okay-ish. The adaptive cruise control brakes too early and too aggressively when approaching a slower moving car. 100 meters is way too early, but the active lane keeping assist is very good. The emergency braking when reversing can also be overactive, causing the car to stall, requiring a hard press of the brake pedal before the accelerator will start working again. In an emergency situation, when the car decided to stop but an approaching vehicle doesn't have a way to go around you, this could turn out to be rather stressful. At least visibility is good and the optional 360 camera helps with maneuvering. Daylight robbery. Fuel consumption after the traction battery is depleted is about 6-7 liters per 100 kilometers. The RX 450h Plus has a smaller fuel tank than its regular hybrid siblings, 55 instead of 65 liters.
The BYD Seal U DM-i also has a 60-liter fuel tank, and after depleting the traction battery, it also consumes 6-7 liters per 100 kilometers, depending on the speed. If you stop somewhere along the way, you can recharge the 18.3 kilowatt-hour traction battery, not only with up to 11 kilowatts AC power, but also up to 18 kilowatts DC. Yes, this could have been solved with a 22 kilowatt onboard charger, but since the Seal U is also available as an EV, it was probably cheaper to keep the CCS port. Under the bonnet is a 1.5 liter petrol engine and an electric motor depending on the version. The total output is between 215 and 320 horsepower. BYD offers the Seal U DM-i in front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive with a traction battery capacity of 18.3 or 26.6 kilowatt hours. This is the 320 horsepower version with all-wheel drive with an 18 kilowatt hour battery, giving it a range of up to 70 kilometers in zero emissions mode. I'm not sure if you can see this, but the screen really reflects and it's really annoying.
The 0 to 100 km per hour time is 5.9 seconds, which is roughly what I achieved in sport mode. However, pressing the accelerator pedal harder always activates the petrol engine. The engine doesn't drive the wheels, but charges the traction battery or powers the electric motor. The BYD Seal U DM-i is comfortable. This isn't just due to the soft seats, but also the soft suspension, which also happens to be a bit rattly on larger bumps. The steering is vague to say the least. When quartering fast, the understeering Lexus RX feels like an F1 car compared to the Seal. The underbody sound insulation is excellent, however at higher speeds, on highways, wind noise from the top of the vehicle becomes noticeable. The driver assistance systems work okay, Lexus is better but not by much. Visibility is poor, the mirrors blend in with the A-pillars, the rear visibility is also bad as the rear window is small, ends high and is at a steep angle, therefore even a compact car can disappear behind the Seal. And last but not least, my diagonal approach all-wheel drive test. I stop halfway when wheels on the diagonal have limited grip and then I try to get going again. The RX copes fine in normal and in off-road mode. In the latter, the traction control allows a bit more slip of the wheels. However, after turning off the traction control, the system gets lost. The rear axle is powered by an electric motor that does not know what is happening to the front wheels. Therefore, in hybrid SUVs from Lexus and Toyota, keep the traction control on if you want to get out of a moderate off-road trap. Meanwhile, the Seal U is doing well in each of the modes and it has several of them, including sand, mud and snow. Traction control can be turned off in normal mode, but it comes back on as soon as the wheels exceed a certain speed threshold. In any case, the BYD Seal U DM-i managed surprisingly well. Prices of the Lexus RX start at €74,100 for the 350h. This test car is the RX 450h Plus in top trim with options. It costs €93,210. Price of the BYD Seal U DM-i start at €39,990 for the Boost variant. This test car is the design variant with black paint, which costs a total of €47,090.
The Lexus RX 450h Plus is clearly the more luxurious of the two SUVs here, but that was to be expected. BYD's upscale brand, Denza, is dipping its toes in Europe, but other more established players should pay attention because the Chinese won't be taking any prisoners. And which one of these two SUVs is more to your taste? Let me know in a comment section below. Type.
If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.